Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
What do we got? Today's the 24th of January already.
It is?
We're like going to be moving into the middle of 2022 and headed towards 2023 already.
Dude, I can't even fathom.
Well, I know that this is not a football show, but I was just mentioning I have such bad feedback, guys. That was probably the best weekend of football I've ever seen.
It was crazy.
I mean, all of them.
Crazy. All of them.
All of them came down to the last 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fantastic. Could you maybe just turn me down a little bit, Adam? It's screeching in my ears. So thank you. But all right, so I figured we'd kind of jump right in. Don't have a bunch of stuff. Ooh, excuse me, guys.
Check that. So congratulations to all the teams that won. Just letting you know, congratulations. I'm very superstitious, so yes, I will continue to wear this. Yeah, Brad agrees. It was amazing football.
For sure.
But the Bills.
I wanted the Bills to win so bad.
And I'm sorry, all you Chief fans. Sorry, but dude, they
got outplayed.
But their fans are legit fans. They're not just bandwagoners. So
I was thinking the Bills and the Bengals, a couple of teams like that in
there.
Great. But anyways, all right. So I thought I would jump right back into where we were.
Okay.
We're going to wrap up the Miracle Morning today.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're going to wrap it up. I'm digging this.
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up. I know it was really good. I've really enjoyed this one. And actually, I'm going to talk about why we should read books twice here shortly as well. But I thought I'd start out. If you remember where we were last time, we were talking about just a little bit of a different mode of thinking. We were talking about the word savers, meaning that's kind of the theme of the book, the theme of the Monday morning motivation. So it was silence. You remember, like learning to meditate and do all those sorts of things. And then it was A for affirmations, making sure that you're kind of repeating what it is you would like to do and kind of how you want to be and who you want to be and your goals and all that. And then the next one, which is what we're going to move on to, was visualization. Do you remember?
Oh.
So visualization in Savers, basically, and I thought it was kind of corny because when I say visualization, it's like, we know what that is. You think about you're going to go do this. You think about you in a mansion, you're going to be in a mansion and blah, blah, blah. That's pretty much what you think of when you think of the word visualization, right?
Yeah.
So this goes to the next step, and it says visualization is kind of a mental rehearsal. And what that means is it's creating mental pictures of specific behaviors and outcomes in your life. So it's not just like, I'm going to be rich someday, but it's about what do I need to do? Who do I need to be? How do I visualize myself being that way? And how can it get me to where I want to go? And of course, it talked about athletes and how athletes, I will never forget when I was in college watching this thing where this guy, they had a guy out there practicing shooting free throws. And then they had a guy in the stands just visualizing himself making them. And then they compared the two. And they were both, similar type guys. And the guy that just visualized just went up there and just killed it. And I've never forgot that because he just visualized himself making it. So also, if you think about, they talked about Tiger Woods and how Tiger Woods and who was the other big guy, Jack Nicholson, said every time they got up to go play golf, every single time, they visualized what their swing was going to look like, where their feet were going to stand, every single piece before they took every single swing and where the ball was going to go.
Interesting.
So they actually visualized every detail of it. And Tiger talked about that, how he would, imagine executing that shot perfectly, imagining his backswing, every single piece about it. And then there's a section in the book about Will Smith and how he saw himself overcoming challenges. So he would see a challenge arrive, and then he would mentally visualize himself getting past it and what it's going to look like coming past it on the other side. And I'm sure all of you guys remember, I'll never forget, just because he was such a monster actor when I was younger, was Jim Carrey. And do you remember Jim Carrey with the $10 million check that he had? Did you know about that one, Robert? Jim Carrey wrote himself out a check when he was nobody, first moved to LA, Hollywood, and he wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services. And he had never really accomplished anything at that time. It was before Living Color, before anything. And he dated it, I don't remember what year, but whatever year it was Thanksgiving Day of that year. I think it was 10 years later that he was going to be receiving $10 million. And that year in like October, he signed the contract for Dumb and Dumber and was paid $10 million to shoot Dumb and Dumber. So he carried that thing around in his wallet, in his little zipper section of his wallet for 10 years. The check was beat up, and all that stuff, but he kept it in his wallet for 10 years. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I think of often, and I don't remember who the baseball player was, but you told this story months ago. about how he was so worried about ruining the World Series. He was so worried about ruining, so he just put it all on the negative side, and sure as shooting, the ball went through his legs. And
Yep.
he
Boston
lost.
Red Sox game,
Is
yeah.
that what it was?
Yeah,
Aw.
and they actually showed him, if you remember we showed the video, they showed him the week before saying that his biggest fear was
Right.
the ball going between his legs
Oh.
and him losing the World Series for his team. So he actually put it out there in the universe and visualized it in that way. So I guess the question would be for all of us, and I've been thinking about this for myself, and hopefully you have, Jenny, and Adam, you have too, hopefully, and Robert, is what are you currently visualizing for your life? And like, where do you want to go? And sometimes it's hard to figure out exactly where you want to go and what you want to change and what things.
Yeah.
Jenny,
Yeah.
where do you want to go?
Where do I want to go? Like physically,
Well,
literally?
let's talk about your house. Let's talk about, your future. Like, what would you like to see down the road? Where do you visualize yourself, let's say, in 5 years?
Oh, I want to be taking more vacations, and I want to have. I think I want to have. I'm just going to say I want to have an RV. I don't know if I want, and I'm not sure. I may have changed my mind on that. And you're allowed to change your minds, people.
Of course, you're gonna alter.
I want us to travel.
Okay,
How about you?
so you want to travel, like you want to have an RV and travel the country type thing, or
And I want to go to Switzerland.
you want to
That's
go to
on my-
Switzerland, you want to travel the country, and all those sorts of things. What about anybody else? Does anybody else have any visualizations? How about you, Adam? Where do you want to be in 5 years, dude? Or do you even think about
I
that?
don't even know where I want to be for lunch.
Come on, you're a liar, and I don't appreciate it.
He doesn't even
Come
know where he
on.
wants to be for lunch.
He's fibbing.
I don't think so.
No, this year I want to make, I don't know about 5 years, but this year I want to make $15,000 extra in side gigs.
All right, so
Okay.
all you guys out there, let's help Adam reach his goal. So if you've got businesses on the side, if you've got spouses, friends, anyone that's looking for great video work or anything like that, Adam's putting it out in the universe, right? So
All right, I dig it. I dig it.
how about you, Robert? Anything special you want to have done in the next few years? Any place you visualize yourself?
I mean, I would like to get like a new car, like nothing that's like previously used with a ton of miles on it. And
So you would like to get
maybe-
yourself a newer car.
Maybe start getting myself my own property that I could have my own small little home on and places to work on cars.
I like the idea of not saying maybe. I like the idea of saying I want to get a little place, piece of property, build a big 30-foot shop in the
Yeah,
back
I
and
see
be able
you
to
with
work
the
on
shop.
cars.
I do, and I think, oh my goodness.
All of you guys out there, by the way, that dude is so talented. I mean, he came over, he took the entire top off my engine, put a new top in on. I mean, he is so talented. If you guys ever need any auto stuff, if he can do it.
But he's not so talented, because if we say he's too talented, he's
Yeah.
going to leave us.
Keep
Oh, yeah.
the boot on his head. Come
All right, I'm trying to do that to both you guys. And all I'm thinking about is, Jenny, if you take more vacations, that means you're not going to be around as much. I don't know how I feel about that one.
It's all
All three of you
about
guys, scratch those dreams coming, okay? And that whole visual.
on. Yeah.
It's 5
You
years.
shouldn't be motivating us like this.
We're not allowed to be motivated.
Fine.
What's yours?
In 5 years, I mean, I want to have another house, like
Okay.
I used to.
Where?
I'd like Mexico.
Okay.
I mean, I would love to have a house in
Okay.
Mexico, somewhere close to an airport, close to a beach.
Yes.
But I called a friend of mine. I went down to his house in Cabo, and he had a little 1,900 square footer with a view of the ocean, in a nice kind of private gated golf course community. And I called him up and I just said, hey man, what is your house going for? 1,900 square feet, really
Yeah.
nice, 2-car garage and all that stuff. And he said, oh, it's about 1.4 million.
Okay.
I'm like, wait, I thought this was Mexico.
That's it.
Could you believe that? I about fell out of my chair. I'm like, well,
Oh,
okay.
1.4 million pesos.
There you go.
Pesos.
550.
You got to do the conversion, Chuck.
All right, okay. So I want to hit a few more people up
Yeah,
out there.
tell us, people.
Teresa DiCiola. I want to get Teresa DiCiola. I have not talked to Teresa in a long time. Teresa, I want you to jump on. It's okay. You don't have to turn your camera unless you're ready.
No, she is. She's there, my beautiful
I'm here.
friend.
I'm
Tell me,
here.
where do you visualize yourself in about 5 years? Where would you like to be?
Oh my gosh, Chuck, at my age, I'm thinking of retirement. So 5 years for me puts me close to that 70 mark. So for me right now, it's all about retirement. So it's all about working as hard as I can, putting as much more money as I can, getting those rental properties, all that. So
Okay.
Wait.
Go ahead.
You're almost 70
I know.
in 5 years?
5 years.
Damn, girl.
Right? Right? All right,
Yeah,
so let's
so-
hit up, and I don't know if she's got the time to answer this question, but what about Norma Ramirez? Norma's a go-getter. She's a charger. She's all over social media. She makes things happen. I know she's got small kids. Norma, are you on? And if so, where would you like to be in 5 years? And I think we have to spend the
Hi.
time to really think about it. How are you? Go for it.
Hi, I'm here. Yes, I always visualize this. I see myself sitting at a home with an ocean view, a square in-ground pool with grass around, the sun beaming in my face, and just peaceful. I want that in the next 5 years.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, that was good.
Now, living there or just like a hotel stopping by? You want to live there?
No way. I want that to be my home. I want to wake up to that every day and just be
See how I
peaceful
was
with my
bringing out the
coffee in my
affirmation?
hand.
Good.
Love it, Norma.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. All right, let me grab somebody else. How about Johanna Adorable? Remember she just had the baby and all that
Yes,
sort of stuff?
and her 80 million children.
And her, does she have 80 million? Wow.
Almost.
All right, so I don't know if you can jump on. What you
I
got?
only have 5. I don't have 80 million.
5.
It probably feels like 80 million sometimes.
Are you done? Or are you going to have a few more, or what's the plan?
Hopefully not. Hopefully we're done.
Well, you know how to make sure that doesn't. Okay, so go ahead. Where would you like to see yourself in 5 years?
I'm thinking renting our house and buying a bigger one for our family.
Okay, so
Cool.
your goal is to, and my favorite part about that, Johanna, is you said to keep the house.
Yeah.
Because remember, guys, we
Yes.
never sell our real estate. We never sell our real estate. We never sell our real estate, right?
I
If you
really
can't
screwed
keep
that
it and
up.
buy something else, then don't buy it.
You're not telling that to everyone, are you, Chuck?
I'm telling that to the agents in this company, the people on this call, baby. All right? Now your clients, it's a good time to sell, Mr.
It's a great
Seller.
time to sell, yeah.
Okay, how about Deanna? We never really hear much from Deanna. I mean, and
Yeah,
again,
it's
you don't have
funny.
to turn on your camera, but I would love to hear where
I
Deanna
would love
Horner
if she turned on her camera. Though.
would like to see herself in 5 years.
You would not love it if I turned on my camera right now.
The audience
That's
would
all
love
I'm
it.
going to say there. Good morning. In 5 years, I'm going to own 2
Whoa, 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 whoa.
properties. And I'm going
One
to
second,
take an
Deanna.
international vacation every other year.
Okay, an international vacation every other year.
Dig it.
I like that. I like that.
And 2 rental properties, Chuck.
Okay, and 2 rental properties. So within 5 years, I want an international vacation every other year, and I want 2 rental properties. And the thing I'd like you to think about, just for everybody on this call, is when I'm thinking 2 rental properties, or when I'm thinking, whatever, however I'm computing that in my mind, try to think of, I want X amount of dollars in passive income. So you might get 1 rental income property that's bringing you $1,000, as opposed to 2 that are bringing you $300 a piece. So I would say, like, what can we do to say, okay, I want to be making $1,000 in passive income off my real estate? Just a thought.
Oh,
Just a thought.
Yeah.
No, I
love
like
it. But
I
love-
like that perspective, Chuck.
Okay,
Thank you.
but I love 2 rentals, and I love the international vacations, and I think I might have told you before. Hey, we're all friends here. I can get All right. So
Yeah.
I was talking to one of the richest guys I know, and I don't want to say his name because you guys would probably know him. And
It's
I
actually Robert.
secretly.
Robert's a secret
Right.
undercover
Have you seen
millionaire.
Undercover Boss?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
what it is? Robert secretly owns
Yeah.
this place.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I said, he's a very, very rich guy. His family owns one of the biggest companies in the United States.
Okay.
And him and I were having some cocktails, and he says, Chuck, I'm going to tell you the secret to life. And I said, you are? And I said, okay, cool. And he goes, my son gives me a lot of crap because I don't have a lot of hobbies. Because he goes out on his quads, and he goes out in his Can-Ams, and he goes out and he goes to the desert, and he's got big trailers, and that's my son's hobbies. And he said, but for me, mine is being really successful in my business. He said, I bought another building. He goes, that's a hobby to me.
Yeah, totally.
He goes, my company did X. That's a hobby to me. He said, so, you have to love what you do. He said, that's number 1, Chuck. And he goes, and number 2, and this applies to you, Deanna. He said, number 2 is that I like to set a goal, and he goes, and I do this every year. I spend 1 month in Europe every single year. And he said, because of my hobbies, that I chose to make that my hobby, I'm able to go to Europe once a year for a month, right? From working his ass off. And then the third thing he said, I like to have great sex with my wife. But he said that too, so whatever, that was number
Hey,
2.
I like that he put his wife.
He did.
I thought that was great.
Well, he didn't leave his wife. I added that. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, so but he already knows what he wants, and he knows his success. But continuing the visualization piece, I want to ask a few more people. How about Brad Morton? Brad, 5 years from now, because he's got a bun in the oven, right? He's got a couple other ones. So, Brad, where would you like to be in 5 years, dude?
5 years, I definitely want to be a consistent performer in the Canyon Lake market and the areas around it. And I would like to have a couple of little properties.
Okay.
And I also would like to build out a killer backyard. That's one of my big goals is
Cool.
by the time my daughter, who's due in June, is of swimming age, to have a really cool backyard oasis.
Why do I have no doubt that's going to happen,
Yeah,
Brad?
I think it's probably going to happen in less than 2 years.
Yeah, I like that. So basically be number 1 in the market pretty much, right? have a killer backyard, and pick up a couple of rentals. I think that's really important that we know that, because I think if we don't say those things out loud, sometimes we get lost in the weeds. So thank you, Brad. I appreciate that. Let's see, who else can we grab? How about Denise Hernandez?
Oh, and congratulations on your new grandbaby.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What do you got, Denise? 5 years from now, where do you want to be?
5 years from now, I do want a couple rental properties. I'd like to have a cabin in Lake Arrowhead by Burt Mill. And I'd like to travel back east and see my family.
I love that.
Love it.
I love the specificity. I love how specific she was with that. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. Okay, so the big kicker, let's keep moving, is when we're talking about visions and visualization, is most people have limited visions. Now, again, this is the Miracle Morning. This is what they... When we visualize our future, though, most people, and thank you guys for being so positive, and you know what I do love is all the rental talk you guys are talking about, and all the passive income talk. That stuff excites me. Like, that's what I live for. But when most people visualize their future, especially if they've got some big decisions in front of you, they see fear and worry. By making a decision, by some of the things that are standing in front of us, a lot of people don't look at it and say, this could get me my rentals, this could get me my international trip, this could get me my house in Lake Arrowhead. They more see like what I might lose or how I could fail. So we have to be careful in visualization that we are visualizing the positive. Even though we're saying the positives out loud, we have to make sure that we're reaffirming that self. And the Miracle Morning and doing this, having the visualization enables you to kind of create that vision for yourself and create a compelling, exciting, and of course, limitless future. So most people teach us to visualize with the end result, and that's what we all just did, which is cool, right? We just said, I want to have a house in Arrowhead. I want to have 2 rentals. I want to go back east and view my family, or see my family. That's super cool. Or I want to live in a mansion, or I want to drive a Ferrari, or, but that's only half of the equation, seeing the end goal, right? This is where I visualize myself here. So we expect to do it, unfortunately, by doing the same things that we always do.
Right.
You know, like, I'm going to get really rich by doing the same shit I do every day. That's what we do. So we have to look at that other piece, not just the end goal, but the other half, which is visualizing yourself doing the short-term actions that you need to do to get there. So it's not just visualizing down the road, it's visualizing the steps along the way. So, of course, number 1 is visualizing the big picture, which we talked about. Number 2 is what I need to do today. So what actions do I need to do today? And walking through the house, your new mansion, and seeing the pool in the backyard and all that stuff, that's the easy part. But visualizing yourself doing it, you know, whatever, making the 20 calls, making the 20 texts, sending out, asking for the reviews, creating the ads, calling people and asking for business, and doing it with a smile and with courage and laser focus, and choosing our highest priorities is the other piece of that. So I have to figure out what are my highest priorities to get me to that backyard and the 2 rentals and being number 1 in Canyon Lake, right? And I have to, of course, do that, but I have to go like, what are the steps that I need to do to get there? And knowing that those steps are right, I'm going to smile, I'm going to be happy about it, I'm going to have courage, I'm going to laser focus on the things that I need to do. So for the guy who the book was about, he was visualizing himself at his granddaughter's wedding. Now his kid was just being born, the person in this book. But he was visualizing himself in 25 years being at his granddaughter or grandson's wedding, which is not far off for you.
No.
And when he saw this, he saw himself as healthy. He saw himself as strong. He saw himself as setting an example for the family and dancing with her on this occasion, being fit. So he saw himself dancing with her, being fit, and all that sort of stuff.
That's cool. Dig it.
So when he's talking about your morning visualization, he says there's 3 steps. Number 1, getting ready. You know, getting ready for my visualization. And he suggests Baroque classical music. Have you ever heard that before? That
If
like
it's not Baroque, don't fix it.
How did you know? Relatively low, sitting up tall, breathing deep when you're visualizing yourself. So every morning, visualizing yourself doing this. Visualizing what you really want. And many people don't feel comfortable visualizing their success because they're even scared of success sometimes. And I wanted to read something, and I know it's a little bit corny, but it's a quote or a passage from Marianne Wilson's book, which is A Return to Love. Do you know that book?
Very well. I wonder if it's going to be what I, okay.
All right, so I'm going to read you guys this. I'm sorry. So
for probably 22 years.
Just take a minute and listen to this passage, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to read it. It's, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us most. and we ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant? Who am I to be gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God, and playing small does not serve the world. I like that one. You're a child of God, and playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. I'm going to say that again. There's nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We're all meant to shine as children do. We're born to manifest the glory of God that is with us, and it's not just in some of us, but it's in everyone. And as we let our own life shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. I'm going to say that again. And as we let our own life shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Do you like that quote?
It's one of my very favorite. I guess it's been 25, 26 years that it could be more that I found that. It's
really?
Just,
well,
it resonates so well.
I think it's basically saying that, and I'm going to go back to this, and it's not all about money, but I was, for years and years and years, I'm afraid to drive a nice car. People are afraid to have a, $3,000 Christian Dior purse. People are afraid that other people are going to judge them, be jealous of them, say you're a cocky, pretentious prick, or that look who she thinks she is, or whatever. But by going ahead and doing those things and being the best you can be and the most successful people you can be, all of a sudden your daughters expect it, Jenny. And all of a sudden my sons expect it from themselves.
Does this make anyone else just want to bawl? It's so good. If you're listening, it is so good.
Isn't it the truth, though?
It is the truth. Because if we don't allow ourselves, how can all the people we love allow themselves?
I'm just going to point this out about Jenny.
Oh, God.
When you first bought your Tesla, you had issues with it.
Yeah, nobody knew.
Yeah, you had issues with it. And I'll bet you every person on this call is happy that you were finally able to get yourself a nice Tesla.
Aw.
You know what I'm saying? But we're weird about it. We're like, oh, you know what I mean? Or, oh, he wrote a book. Doesn't he think he's special? Or
he's so smart.
Look at him with that pretty girl. He sure thinks he's special. Look at her with,
that's not it.
In her gym clothes, doing squats at the gym. But really you're setting an example for other people. You know what I mean? So I love this. I thought that was a really cool quote. That's why I took the time to read the whole damn thing.
Thank you.
So
I hope it resonated with y'all. I do.
Don't be inadequate. I love the part where
Love this.
our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. That's so cool. And there's nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you.
Right.
It's crazy.
It is so good.
Yeah, just take it and run.
And everyone is wonderful. And that's what I think also is the key thing. Everyone on here, and everyone on the Facebook land, you have light inside of you. Let it just shine. And it's okay on some days when you don't want to. That's okay. You have that choice. But know that you are amazing and fabulous, and let it be.
So we to the world to be the best you can be.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that Oprah Winfrey quote where she said that if you know what you're supposed to be doing, and if you know what you're good at, and you're not out there doing it, it's an insult to God.
Ooh, yeah.
That's basically what she says. She says it's the worst kind of person, worst thing you could do if you know what you like and you know what you can be, and you don't do it. He gave you all these gifts.
Yeah, God gave you all these gifts,
so
and you're not using your gifts.
So,
Ouch.
anyways, enough about that. So, the bottom line is visualize your major goals, your deepest desires, and most exciting would totally change my life if I achieved them dreams. So, what's my major goals, deepest desires, most exciting would totally change my life if I achieved them dreams. And it's hard to think about that because I almost think a lot of people say we think too small.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know, I just did.
Because,
that's not life-changing what I said at all.
A couple of these people on this call, I know, if they said, I want to get 2 rentals in 5 years, they could. But I believe this. If you said, people, I want to own an apartment complex with at least 24 units in 5 years, I'll bet you could frickin' do it. Do you agree? People on this call could do it.
Oh, yeah, if that's what they want, sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want it.
Yeah.
I'll never forget what Tom Ferry said. And he said, if you kick ass and work your ass off for 5 years, you can put yourself in a position where you never need to work again.
Yeah.
And I believe that.
I believe that, too. I do. And I really believe if, this is what's so bad, and this is why I keep chuckling. I shouldn't say it, but Jeremy doesn't watch it. So I just keep visualizing. he needs to work harder. He works so hard. But if he can just keep excelling, Jenny can just keep living her best life. Isn't that horrible? Is anyone else like that? So Sonia's like, if he just keeps doing his thing, I'm golden. I can just be here having fun with y'all.
But there's
yeah, help me with this to flip so I can wanna
there's
work
different
harder.
roles. Like I think one of the most important things that a top producing woman can have, a top producing man can have, is that song came on. Oh, I wish. I think that I found myself a cheerleader. Who's always right there when I need her. Like, it is so important to either have a cheerleader or be the cheerleader, depending upon what your role is in that relationship.
Yeah.
And you are the cheerleader.
I am the cheerleader, gosh darn it.
So don't think...
Maybe not in high school, but gosh darn it, you're all cheerleader.
So you're like, come on, get out there, Jeremy.
Come on,
get your ass
Jeremy.
to work so I can keep dicking around and driving a Tesla.
Exactly, and going to Rams games. I'm
And
living
going to
my
Rams
best life.
games and having good seats, But I do think that some of us is just to be a great cheerleader, and I need a great cheerleader. That's what I need, like, to be successful. Like, that's important, So anyway, so don't you feel bad about that?
You just gave us permission. Thank you.
Don't you feel bad about that, because that's called teamwork.
Yeah.
Okay, teamwork makes the dream work.
That's right.
So anyways, when they were talking about the visualization, it's feel, hear, touch, taste, and smell every detail of your vision.
Feel, hear,
touch, taste, and smell every detail of your vision. So when I think about walking through that big house, if that's what you want, or getting into that new car, Robert, what does that car smell like? You know that new car smell, dude? You know what I mean? And when you go to open it up, does it have a handle that pops out, or does it have one of those cool Tesla handles? You know what I mean? And
I keep seeing his workshop, actually. What does your workshop smell like? What does your land...
Like grease.
Like grease, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. You know what? I would love to see that happen, dude. You should just figure out any way you can, no matter how remote it is, to grab yourself a piece of dirt, man, and get yourself started. So anyways, okay, so number one, if you remember, was to get ready. And getting ready was having the right music, kind of visualizing. Number two is visualizing what you really want. And number three, who you need to be to reach that visual, of where you want and what you need to do. And it's not just about business and work, but it could be about exercising. It could be about working. It could be about writing, if you want to be, write a book or whatever. It could be about studying. It could be all about different types of things. But you have to make sure that whatever your big goal is or purpose is, that you're making sure you enjoy yourself in the process. And smiling when you're doing it, and knowing that these action steps that you're visualizing will get you to that end goal. And it'll change, like you said.
Yeah.
You may want an RV now, and most of the people I know that got an RV and traveled the country came back after a month, sold it, and said, screw that, we're going to hotels and flying places.
Because
Never know.
No, because for the past 22 years, Jeremy's wanted an RV, and I'm like, fuck that. I want room service. I cook and clean all day long. Why do I want to cook and clean on vacay? But now... if that's more of a lifestyle, so I think retirement, I should say.
Okay.
I want an RV.
What's that?
I want an RV. I want to be able to drive across the United States one day.
Do you really?
In an RV, yeah.
You just set yourself a new goal.
Right, there you
That's
go.
what this is about,
The
guys.
thing is Nance doesn't completely agree with that. He's like, I'd be the one driving. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Well, listen. Here's the deal. He's totally replaceable. That's the good part.
Once you make enough money, you mean?
Oh, yeah, well, whatever,
Let's get to the 1970s Winnebago.
Yeah.
Hey, my parents have an Airstream, one of those old silver ones from the 1960s. Yeah, I love Lucy Airstreams. Those are badass.
That's what we really kind of want, but a new one. I got to put that in a new one.
There you go. And they have them new still.
They're gorgeous. There's one, Temecula has a thing, just so you know.
Okay, so final thoughts on visualization.
Okay, final thoughts.
If you were to visualize yourself every day and sit back and think about where you want to go, and if you were to think about that motorhome, if you were to think about that ranch on land, if you were to think about those 2 rentals, think about your backyard, think about that international trip every other year, it's going to start integrating into yourself if you actually took the time to think about it every day. I think that's pretty cool. So again, practice silence, affirmations, and visualizations. That's SAV of Savers. And you'll begin your mind conditioning.
Dig it.
To be the level 10 person you want to be. All right. So this guy who was doing this 30-day challenge and jumped into this, which is who the book's about, he wasn't a runner, but he decided that first week he was going to go out for a run. He was miserable. He hated the thought of doing it. No one wants to go out and run, all right, except for maybe Michael or Tom or I don't know, somebody. But once he got out there, he said the first minute was rough. He said, but once he got going, the silence of the road, the moving, the momentum, like all of it just started to feel really good. And he knew that it was odd, but he began to love it and like it anyway, at that particular moment. So he ended up, and so as he was rebuilding his visualization and who he wanted to be, he went out to lunch that day with a respected agent, real estate agent in his company. And when he went out, the guy ordered chicken, salad, and a water. And all of a sudden, because of the shift he made in his mind of visualizing who he wanted to be, he's like, wow, that's really healthy food. And started looking at him, he's actually in pretty good shape, blah, 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 blah. So like we always say, when you want to buy a white Suburban, you see them on the freeway.
Yeah.
When you are thinking about being in shape, or when you are, and I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but when you get seriously health conscious, you notice what everybody's eating. And you notice what everybody's exercising and what they're wearing and how hard they've worked to get where they are. So he wondered if he would have noticed that lunch had his mind not been programmed to do that. So now we're going to move on to E. So that's SAV.
Okay, got it.
The E is for exercise. That's what the running led to. And it says that exercising in the morning, even for a couple of minutes, enhances your health, improves your self-confidence and your emotional well-being. And there was an interview that they referred to in the book by a guy named Eben Pagan, and I don't know who that is. Eben Pagan? No? And he said that he starts every morning off with a personal success ritual.
Okay.
And he walks through the thing every day of his personal success ritual. And that it's his most important key to success and why he's a billionaire now. It gets your heart rate up, gets your blood flowing, and your lungs filled with oxygen when you are doing some form of exercise. And he said that all he does, this Eben guy, 10 to 20 minutes of jumping jacks.
That's it. Hey, don't say that's it. Try it.
10 minutes of jumping jacks. Could you do? How many jumping jacks do you think you could do, Adam?
We usually have to bust out, 20 to 40 every Krav Maga class.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, good for you.
It's hard, though. What's even harder is jump roping.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what he does, 10 to 20 minutes of jumping jacks, and that's it. But it's changed his life because it's blood flow, the lungs filled with oxygen. So the other guy had suggested yoga. And he said, I'm a man. He goes, but I tried it. He said, and all the creaks and pops and all that stuff when I get out of my chair, he said, they all started going away. And I started getting flexible. And everything just started to change for him as health started to improve. Problems started disappearing, and he just started getting better. Because the real question is, without your health, what do you have?
Nothing.
Really. So, silence, S, affirmations, A, visualizations, V, exercise, E, and the next one is read to lead. So the R in savor is to read. And the suggestion here is that reading is the fast track to transforming any area of your life, professionally or personally. I thought you guys are going to like this, okay? Hear me out. There is very little difference between someone who is illiterate and someone who can read and yet doesn't.
Ha ha, that's good.
Very little difference between someone who is illiterate and someone who can read and yet doesn't. And the second one is pitiful. Do you kind of agree?
That's why I'm sitting here.
Hey, but you know what? But we're basically doing that. I think we're having discussions on these books, which is why we're doing. And everybody says there's no magic pill to success, but the bottom line there is. Everyone's searching for it, and the closest thing to a magic pill is a book.
Explain yourself.
Okay, so think about this. I mean, anybody, and if you look at anybody who's written great books, some of the most powerful people in the world, Trump's book, whoever it might be, their book, if you guys knew how much passion, sweat, wisdom, heart, soul it takes to write that book, and you can get from the greatest minds in the history of this planet, you can get their thoughts.
Yeah, got it.
For $10. You can get their thoughts of everything that's important to them, everything that they wanted to pay forward out into the universe in this one book. And what would you normally pay somebody, I'm going to give Elon Musk, for 100 hours of their time? Or you could just read their book, and it's no different. Obviously you don't get to ask the questions and stuff, but you get what they're all about and their mode of thinking. So the big kicker is readers are leaders, is what this says.
Okay.
And the Miracle Morning suggests you read 10 pages a day. And how difficult would it be to read 10 pages a day?
And not fall asleep?
And try not to fall asleep. You might have to do it in the morning, Jenny. Norma Ramirez just said, I've read more books in my 1 year here at CB than I have in my entire life.
Aww.
It's sad, but I know. Hey, you know what, though? That makes me happy. Is it because of this show, Norma? Say yes. Even if it's not, just say it is. Lynn said at the Powerhouse.
Too.
Oh, right now, Michelle Carnley is at Planet Fitness doing blood circulation and getting new energy. I like it.
Awesome.
I like that. All right, so the other thing I thought was interesting is it says to read it twice and internalize it. This is where I feel bad, Jenny.
Okay.
I feel bad for everyone out there. How many books have we read on this show? We've probably done, 20 or 30 books. it says that you should never move to the next book until you've mastered the details of the prior book and integrated it into your life. So however many times you need to read that to integrate that book into your life, then you can move on to the next book.
Oh.
So I feel bad about that. We're not going to do it. But it makes sense. Mastery requires repetition.
I think this could also extend to like the modern age, like podcasts, listening, because you can listen to like Elon Musk on Joe Rogan, or even our show. You could go back and listen to old episodes.
Yes.
They're on YouTube while you exercise. You know?
It's
So
true.
we could go back to Eat That Frog.
Yes. Yeah, that's funny you say Eat That Frog. The 5-second rule, or Eat That Frog was definitely the first one that really hit it for us, don't you think?
Yeah, that was good.
That
It
was
had
a good
new
one.
stuff I never heard, and Mel Robbins 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was huge.
Yeah, there's just
Yeah.
been so many. You know? And there's more value in reading a book to improve strategies in your life. But again, we have to master them.
Yeah.
I love going back because I keep all these notes and I go back. And I am still working on my next book, by the way. It's going to be
I think that's really cool.
it's going to be a lot of fun.
I was thinking about your book. Now, it is really perfect for people who just got their license. It really is. Like, you don't have
That's
to
what I wrote it
recreate the
for.
wheel. Just read that. Easy read, praise God, because everybody, when you're starting a new career, you can't handle much more. You just took the exam and all that. No, it is perfect
Thank
for
you.
a new agent.
Can I go on a tangent real quick and tell you something that bothers me?
Absolutely.
And so when we have these prospecting masteries, hey, Denise Hernandez, you jumped in on the prospecting mastery on Wednesday. Were you able to make any appointments from the work that we did inside of that prospecting mastery?
Yeah, I got one coming up Wednesday.
Okay. So here's my point, guys. Denise took the time to send out all the texts that she needed to send out. You know, it was something along the lines of, you know, Happy New Year. I was wondering if you could help me out. I set a goal to represent at least 20 buyers or sellers' families to either get into or sell their home. If you know anyone, would you please let me know? And so everybody in the prospecting mastery was sending those out. We were getting appointments all over the room. But the thing that bothers me, guys, is you agents out there that are top producers, you agents out there that are successful at what you're doing already, you still need to be texting out your top 100, asking them for business. You still need to be texting out your people and asking them for reviews. Like, when you see Prospect Mastery, I don't want you to think, oh, that's for the newbies. Because it's not. It's literally to make somebody as badass as Janie Kristofi sit there in her chair and text 100 people Happy New Year and ask them for business, or to ask for a Google review, or to send out a new listing via text. So I just want you guys to know, when you see Prospect Mastery, please engage, because it will bring you money. It'll bring you deals. I guarantee. I mean, I had so many people. I was getting calls over this weekend, texts all weekend long about how somebody is out showing property right now, somebody took a listing just from Wednesday. So don't think it's just for new people. This is for the badasses too. You know what I mean? So anyway, sorry, I got off.
In regards to your next book, Chuck, you really need to understand how profitable the children's book market is. You could do a children's book for kids whose parents are real estate agents. Like, your first book could be called Why Is Mommy Gone All the Time?
Exactly. Hang on, mommy's on the phone with the client.
Why do I get to be the client?
Why mom drinks a lot of wine.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Mommy drinks her silly juice.
Silly juice.
Oh.
That's really funny.
It's definitely, and as adult children as well, mine are now getting it. They're like, oh my God, now we know why, because they're like doing their own businesses.
We liked being able to buy a Letterman's jacket, and we liked being able to wear nice clothes to prom, and we liked and we liked and we liked and we liked.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
could also do like a children's investment book, like, you know, write a children's book so they understand investing at a young age. That'd be a great idea for you.
Well, I would actually enjoy that, because as you guys know, I beat that into my kids from the minute they were old enough to talk. You know, now they own their own houses, they're looking for their second, you know, all that sort of stuff. But I do think that that's a mistake as parents that we make. You're right. It would be nice to give financial training when they're very, very young.
Oh, yeah.
And just get it in their head that this is what we do. Speaking of that, Jenny, I am going to be launching a financial freedom series. I decided that this morning.
Oh.
I'm going to be
Big
doing
morning.
it on the Fired Up Friday calls. And once a month, I'm going to be doing a financial freedom series. I'm going to be reviewing things like The Richest Man in Babylon. I'm going to be reviewing things like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'm going to be doing all those things. Norma Ramirez, do you think selling land is a good idea, or keep it and build on it? Okay, I'm going to give you my honest opinion real quick before we move on to the next one. But land is a frickin' albatross around your neck when the market changes. Why? I paid $100,000 for it. I paid $200,000 for it. And when the market changes, it'll be worth 30. And when the market changes, it's going to bring you nothing. You're going to have to pay taxes on it. You're going to have to put liability insurance on it. If I'm buying this land and I'm immediately going to build on it and I'm going to keep my rental, my current house as a rental, I'm for it. But land has taken down so many people that I know and destroyed them financially because it brings in no income. Or if I'm investing $200,000 and I can put a strawberry field on there, or where they're selling the little things, that's what you see. That's people trying to hold on to land and make it profitable and write off losses and all that. But land to me is an albatross. And I'm just being honest, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that would disagree with me, but I like residual income coming in every month, not it being flushed down the toilet.
I get it.
Is that okay that I say that? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not
no,
trying
it's your
to
opinion.
deter anyone.
No, that's
Unless you got the money to make that kind of investment, right?
to hold on
But that
to.
money still just sits, I mean, I've owned land for 25 years.
But maybe
Okay.
it's a dream to build on that specific land.
I like that. Well, like she just said, I have it approved plans. That's different. As long as you're keeping your house and you're going to
Yeah.
build something for
Yeah.
yourself, I like it.
Yeah.
If you're holding on to land bank that house as an investment,
Yeah.
all right. So
That's
let's get back to where we were. A good
Okay.
question. Thank you. So affirmations, right? This was random in the book. It said, I'm committed to receiving referrals from everyone I know. That'd be a typical affirmation, but whatever. Okay, we're going to go to the last one now. We've gone all the way through savor. Now we're going to add the S, Jenny.
Oh, yeah.
The S is for scribing. I love this one. This is a place I'd like to. Can you browbeat me on this one? Because I think it's so
Hell yeah.
important.
Bring it on.
So we encourage you, of course, not to just find time for silence, affirmations, visualizations, exercise, and reading, but also writing in a journal. And if you look back to Ben Franklin, to a lot of these really powerful people that molded the world, they kept journals. And they kept journals because it keeps their head straight. It keeps affirming who they are, where they want to be, the things they need to do. And it allows you to put your thoughts on paper, and it gives you insight when you write these things down on paper. And how many of you guys out there have blank journals lying around? Yeah, you do too. Robert does too. A lot of us. So many people have blank journals lying around. And it's so powerful when they are filled out. Because I've gone back. I started journaling back in March, April of last year. And I go back and I look at those. And it tells me where I was and how far I've come. Go ahead.
Well, I was trying to tell you the other day, and now I can't. All right. What's his name? McConaughey.
All right.
What's his name?
Matthew McConaughey.
He, on his Instagram, and I keep meaning to send it to you, but now I can just say it. He says journaling is like making a contract with yourself. It's making a promise to yourself. That's all journaling is. I was like, I get that.
Well, didn't he make a journal book?
Yeah, well,
The green light or something like that?
Green light, but I don't know if that's also his story. I haven't read
We
it
should
yet.
review that.
Oh, I
Vicky
know.
Carpenter's been trying to get me to review that.
Isn't it mostly blank though? Isn't it like just a journal you fill out?
No. The Green Light, it's his book. Sorry, I
Get
thought
on
you
in
were
order.
something else. But anyways, so I've been thinking, Adam, in this new world, because the suggestion is it says you have to look back to propel forward sometimes, just briefly. And I know a lot of these books say don't look back, but if you were to look back, if I'm Brad and I look back and I see me back when I was working for the new home developments or in commercial real estate or whatever, and then I look at where I am now, you know where you were, you know where you've come. So it allows you to review and relive your entire year or your entire life, to re-examine your activities, your actions, your progress, and it makes you look at how much you've accomplished in a year and the lessons learned.
I like it. Let's work on that.
So what I wanted to do, Adam, and I thought this would be really unique, is it's suggest doing it in the morning because that is the silent time. Even for you guys that have little kids, you can get up before them, and that is some peace and quiet time. I love my mornings. And my suggestion is, and I'm trying to figure this out, is what if we just did, you guys seen Avatar, the Avatar movie where he had to record every day his experience with the tribe of, aliens or whatever that he was doing, where he had to record his progress and what was going on. What if we had our phone and said, I'm going to do my 1-minute review of the day? Today I did my Monday motivation. I found out a lot of people had goals. Robert wants to have land. For me, I want to do this. You want to have that car, blah, 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 blah. Here's what's happening in my career, my life. And then, you're done. And that's the date. And you can save it in a folder. And then the next day, you do the same thing. Well, today I represented 2 buyers that I got from texting, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I have a goal for myself for doing 40 sales this year. I'm just suggesting that what if instead of journaling, we shot ourselves a quick video that you could go back and look at? What do you think about that, Adam?
I like it because I have horrible handwriting.
I dig it. I think it's really it's the word of the day.
A
Apparently.
video journal. Yeah.
Now what this
video
guy
journal.
in the book did when he went back and he looked up his journals, he took a piece of paper and he drew a line right down the middle of it. And on the left, after he watched like the last few months, quickly, wrote down lessons learned on the left side of the page. And then on the right side, new commitments. So he would go back, like I said, look back to propel forward and write down, these are the lessons I learned. These are the things that I need to do to create new commitments by drawing that line down the middle of the paper. I thought it was interesting. And the benefits, of course, of journaling, gaining clarity, capturing ideas, reviewing lessons learned, documenting your progress. So, hey, you know what? This is a true story, right? I weighed in over 200 for the first time a month ago. Now I'm at 188. If I wrote that down, I could go, shoot, that was, and I started the day after Christmas. So, in 3 weeks or whatever, lost like 10, 11 pounds, So encouraging you to develop habits of journaling will also, create that inner scribe in your mind of watching your progress. And it helps you focus, and there's a whole section in this book about helping you focus on the gaps in your life. The pieces that are missing, whether it's your spiritual gap, whether it's your physical gap, whether it's your mental gap, whether it's your financial gap, whether it's your business gap, whether it's your relationship gap. As you write these down, you'll start to notice the places that are missing in your life. So gap focus is what it's called. And it can be healthy and productive, and it comes, especially if it's coming from a positive, proactive perspective without any feelings, or feelings of lack or that you're doing anything wrong. However, it did say, and I like this one, that proper journaling requires a structure. And I do agree with this because somebody gave me a journaling book, and the journaling book they gave me was broken down into 6 sections. I am grateful for.
Oh, okay.
Today I will. To make my day better yesterday, I should have. And so you fill out each one of those 6 things on the one page of journaling, put the book away, and you're done. But it suggests that having some form of a structure in your journaling. Now, some people are going to like digital. Some people are going to like hard copy. For me, I would probably like a hard copy. How about you? You bought yours, right? You bought them, they're hard copies, the ones you don't use?
Yes, they're beautiful.
They're beautiful. So any choice is gratitude, and so you can get books. There's so many of them on Amazon, and I think this is a great rabbit hole for you to go down if you want to start journaling is anything you want. So some are going to be about gratitude. Some could be about your dreams. Some could be about food. Some could be about working out. Some could be about affirmations, appreciation. Whatever it may be, you can choose the journals you like with the structure on the inside that you feel will be the most effective for you. So I just thought it sounded like a cool rabbit hole.
Yeah, that is.
So that being the case, ends the book. You like that? Love that, Katie. What did Katie say? I want to see.
Me too.
My husband brought us both journals last year with 5 simple questions nightly. What is the one thing that happened good today? What happened not so good? What can I do better next time? What is my goal for tomorrow? And what made me happy today?
Aww.
Katie, I love that.
I love it.
That's what I mean by structure. So right there, so Katie, go ahead and jump in on this real quick. Do you guys fill that out every night? Like, what do you do to, do you actually use it?
We do. I've been bad this year, but we did it all last year right before we went to bed. So it's just like a little reflecting. And it was a game changer. It really made your goal clear for the next day.
Yeah, I like that. I remember I used to do the same thing. It was called 4 questions. What was the highlight of your day? What did I learn today? All those sorts of things. And those are really great discussions to have with your significant other that night or with your friends on the phone or something like that too. So anyways, thank you for sharing that, Katie. I love that. So the bottom line,
welcome.
So the bottom line is we have to finish strong. Now these people, this couple that went through this, remember it was a realtor and a mortgage rep, they were feeling great after their 30 days. They started running, they were journaling, they were eating right, they really switched that gear. And the suggestion in the book is start living your life in 30-day challenges. Start living your life in 30-day challenges. So they came right back and started another one right after it. And again, the crux of the book is he or she who owns the morning owns the day. So I liked it. And there we have it. That is today's Monday Motivation, Jenny. I like this stuff. So anything else, Adam, that you want to add?
Thank you, everyone, for being here. I appreciated all the comments you guys gave me about how cool I am on Facebook. Feel free to pop in there and just mention about how awesome I am and how much...
Wait a minute. Jenny, were you bothered by that they were complimenting him when...
Oh, gosh, no. Yeah. Because they're going to tell you and I this week how great we are.
Just let me have it, Chuck. Let me have it.
Let the poor little Bubba have a little carrot dangle.
Philip Martinez on Facebook said he loves your victory gear, Jenny. So
Thanks.
yeah.
What's up, Philip?
Well,
Hey, Philip brought out some great cookies, by the way.
He
You're
did.
great. You're
they
great,
were
Philip.
super delicious.
Kildabanker Coast Alliance out there. So
Yeah.
hey, if you got any referrals for Long Beach or any of that area, hit up Philip, guys. So anyways, okay, cool. So thank you guys, Robert. Thank you very much. Adam, Jenny, I think it's going to be a good week.
I do too.
I think so as well.
All right, so let's start off by finishing our morning strong.
Okay.
And thank you guys all for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Elizabeth is going, yay.
All right, guys. Take care. Have a great week.
Bye.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Oh, wait. Dana,
I'm
you gotta get
taking
to me.
over.
You got to get to me earlier. I forgot. We're out of here, but we're not for the caravan.
Right.
You got to hit me up sooner, Teresa. I totally forgot. So here we go.
I wasn't going to let you get off that easy, Chuck.
All right, so hey, Teresa's got a bunch of great new properties hopefully to share. Jenny and I are out, but we're going to watch too, so bring it in, Teresa. It's all you.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys. Hey, I'm going to share my screen here and